Welcome to Weyburn Comprehensive School. We are going to take you on a virtual tour today. The first stop is the Student Services area, which is right behind the main office. Student Services staff help high school students with questions about course selections and career fairs. You'll notice a number of computers for students to work on and career information that students can access when planning for their future. This is the art hallway. There are 2 art classrooms in this hallway. These rooms are used primarily by students in grade 8 through 12. The rooms have a door between them, so we will go through to the other classroom this way. As we re-enter the art hallway, you will notice that it connects to the science hallway on the left. There are 4 science labs, as well as a grade 8 RTI teacher's space, and the back entrance to the commercial kitchen in this hallway. Like the art hallway, this hallway is used primarily by grade 8 through 12 students. At the end of the science hallway, you will see the SRC prep room. The SRC plans for activities in this space, and they have someone to help them out with that. To our left is the hallway that leads to the Commons, the grade 7 hallway, the library, Computer Lab 702, the band and choral rooms, and the majority of the other high school classrooms. This is the east entrance that some students may enter or exit. And this is the grade 8 hallway. All of the grade 8 homerooms are located in this hallway, and they will have most of their classes in this area. Some of the grade 9s will also be seen in this hallway as they access science classes. As you continue down the grade 8 hallway, you will loop around the block. There are washrooms and a water fountain at the end of the block, along with an open workspace that teachers sometimes use for group work. However, this is not an area for students during lunch. Some grade 7 students have lockers in this area as well. Our school counselor's office for students in grades 7 through 9 is beside the open area. Straight ahead is the grade 7 hallway. As you enter the grade 7 hallway, you will see the South 1 doors on your left. Students who travel using the city busing system enter and exit through these doors. You may also use these doors if you ride your bike or walk. As we travel down the grade 7 hallway, you will notice that all of the grade 7 homerooms are in this hall. At the end of the grade 7 hallway, we will also notice that there is access to the library here on our left. If we were to turn to the right, it would lead us back to the commons, which you can see to our left. So now we have walked the block. Let's take a look at the band and choir rooms on our right. All grade 7s take band, and this is where you will spend time with Mrs. Cameron. Across the hall is the choral room. Grade 10 through 12 students have a course in this classroom, but if you participate in one of the musical productions, this is where you might spend some of your practice time. Across the hall from the band and choral rooms is the computer lab 702. This computer lab is attached to the library. Grade 7s may spend much of their PAA classes in this space. It is used primarily as a workspace that teachers reserve for classes in any grade. There is access to the library from here, but Mrs. Kopek prefers that we use the regular doors. In the library, you will notice that there is a bank of computers that could be used for an entire class. Teachers sometimes book out these computers for you to do some work. There are also learning spaces, what we call breakout rooms, at the outside edges of the library. Quiet, and they allow small groups to work independently. Sometimes tests are written in these spaces as well. There are several nooks and crannies in the library for you to get comfy with a book at lunch or before school starts. There are also a number of workstations where you can work quietly. Emphasis on quiet. The breakout room in front of us is also accessible through the grade 7 hallway. Remember that these are workstations. It is not a gaming station. This is Mrs. Kopek. You will get to know her very well as the year goes by. She will help you with finding books, signing out books, and helping you with any problems you have in the library. Let's go back down the grade 7 hallway and take a look at the high school hallways. Remember that these are the South 1 doors where you may enter in the mornings and leave at the end of the day. Don't use them at lunch to try to come back though, as they will be locked. This is the 400 hallway. The first classroom on your left houses the after-school detention and success program. This classroom and the one across from it provide students with learning opportunities in smaller group settings. The grade 7 RTI space is on the left, about halfway down this hallway. The 400 hallway contains classrooms for the majority of our high school English and Social Studies classes. As we near the end of the hall, we also find the high school counselor's office. At the end of the hallway and to your left are the computer classrooms, as well as the south doors that the high school students can use to enter and exit. Both the South 1 and South 2 doors have bike racks that are available to you. In this area, teachers have access to the large printer, and if you are in some of the high school computer classes, you may end up having access to the green room. This allows students to work in a setting that is optimal for creating video. There is also an audio space where students can record high-quality audio to put into their videos. Mr. Lendrum will be excited if this interests you. This is the second computer lab where Mr. Lendrum is based out of. Most of the computer media and computer science classes are held in this classroom. As we move out of Mr. Lendrum's classroom, we see the South 2 doors again. Remember that this is an access for the high school students. The 500 hallway is one of our busiest hallways, as it branches off to provide access to our PAA shops. There are also a couple of English classrooms at this end of the hall. The first short hallway leads us to the automotive shop, the welding shop, and the side entrance to the machining shop. Let's take a look inside the automotive shop.
The automotive shop allows students to work on small engines.
Students that are taking classes in the automotive shop are working on small engines in their first courses, and then they progress to working on more difficult material in their grade 11 and grade 12 courses. Students may learn how to repair different parts of vehicles.
In this space to allow you to get underneath vehicles and work on the exhaust systems and mechanical systems. In this space,
You may learn how to change the oil on a vehicle,
engines that students
and you may be working on engines and
some of the equipment
exhaust systems.
with
This leads to Mr. Clausen's office, and on the other side of his office is the automotive classroom. As we enter the welding area, You will notice a number of booths to your left. Students use this space to learn how to arc weld. You will also notice that there are a few projects in progress. There are a number of different stations set up for students to work, and the yellow lines on the floor are safety guides. The machine in this space is called a plasma cutter. It is used to cut designs out of sheet metal.
Plasma cutter we just saw makes these stools along with your hand welding to get them there. This fire pit was also cut from that machine. Samples of
You will notice the sample work of how students learn the process and skills of welding.
interior of one of the booths. Walk towards the
Now let's go into the machining shop.
space where we have a variety of high-tech mills. This is a digital main mill that works on
This room contains machinery that allows us to do lots of detailed and precise work. There are a number of mills, lathes,
mill. You can see there's all sorts of
and other tools in this space,
will allow you to
including presses.
machine products. And Mr. Nevedomi will be glad to show you how that works.
We're going to exit out the other door of the machining lab, which will take us back into the 500 hallway. This is where we've come from, and here is where we're headed. Mr. Nevedomi has a classroom to the left. As we move through the fire doors, we are now entering the math area. All of the classrooms on the right are math classrooms. Now let's take a short walk down the carpentry hallway. To the left is the carpentry classroom and storage areas. And let's go into the lab.
Mr. Hortness has some music going
Mr.
on.
Hortness
Wood shop.
is doing a little bit of work.
Background tracks.
You'll notice as we look around that there are some unfinished projects
Projects that you would like
and
to make.
all of the different stations that exist in the carpentry shop. Safety is very important. As we continue down the 500 hallway, we will pass two grade 9 classrooms on our left. One is a math classroom, and the other one is an English and social studies classroom. This common area houses several bathrooms and a water station. If we look to the right, this main hallway leads back towards the commons, library, band room, etc. If we go down this hallway, which is called the 600 hallway, we get a chance to see the foods lab. There are several cooking stations so that students are able to work in small groups. The best thing is when you get to make the food and eat it too. The next classroom on this hallway is the sewing lab. There are no workstations set up right now, as Mrs. Fornwald has everything put away so that it is ready to go next year. There is one more classroom in this area. And the Cos Lab on our right. Cosmetology is quite a popular class, and it's not hard to see why. For those of you who are interested in this area, once we get the lights on, you will notice that this space is set up very much like a working salon.
As you'll notice, the Cosmetology Lab has all the same equipment you would see in a hair.
Students in this area get to learn how to do things like braiding hair,
Hair and nails, massage,
doing massages of the scalp,
braiding, samples of
doing pedicures and manicures,
mannequins and so on. And you'll enter provincial and Canadian competitions in these areas.
and things get much more complex as they move into Cos 30. These are the secondary doors into the Eagles Gym. This gym is used primarily by the high school students. And we have a set of doors that go out to the north to have access to our playing fields. From here, you can see the football field, the track, and the open space in front of it that middle year students use at noon hour. As we turn the corner, we still have the Eagles Gym on our right, but we pass the bridge classroom and the electronics and electrical lab. Let's take a look.
As you'll notice in this space, you'll be dealing with electrical, electronics items.
Students in this area often work with different circuits, learn how electricity works, and have some practical opportunities to do soldering, creating circuits, and doing some electrical work in a mock-up of a housing area. This allows them to practice how to do wiring in a home situation. As we re-enter the hallway, the Eagles Gym is still on our right. And we can enter the main doors here. The Eagles Gym is located on the far west side of the school. This is where the high school phys ed classes are held, as well as most of our tournaments and sporting events at the high school level. The weight room is quite extensive. Students need to have teacher permission and supervision to be in this space. This is used by phys ed classes, sports teams, as well as a fitness club if we have one running this year. You can see that there's lots of room for seating for our events, with bleachers at the top and pull-out bleachers at the bottom. Makes for a great atmosphere. Some of the grade 7 through 9 tournaments are held in this space as well. These are the west entrance doors that lead to the student parking lot and the playing fields. You can see the student parking lot and some of the maintenance sheds. There is an outdoor basketball court, a soccer pitch in the middle of the track and jumping pits, as well as the football field. As we continue our tour, you'll notice that now we're just backtracking. We can enter from the west doors, traveling down this main corridor. And back all the way down to the Commons. That is the 500 hallway. To the left is the band room and the storage area for the band classes and instruments. Madame Fordwald has a classroom here for students that take French from her. To the left is again the band and choral entrances, Computer Lab 702, the library, and now we're back to the grade 7 hallway. Hopefully you're starting to figure things out, because right now we are headed back to the Commons. The Commons is used by students at noon to sit and eat their lunches. The tables that you see standing here are normally set down and students can sit at them and eat their lunch. This area leads to the stage and a back corridor to the choral room that is used often for band and choral performances to move through those spaces to get to the stage. When you play for the Christmas concert, you will be sitting here and this will be your view. You can see that the bleachers have been pulled out. And only half of the floor is actually seen at this point. It is definitely a large space. we sneak across the hall, we're going to take a quick peek at the commercial kitchen. Students and staff prepare meals for students at lunch, as well as preparing and hosting some of the food when we do our vowel supper. You will see that everything is on the big side. Multiple stoves, large work areas.
Translation, don't wreck anything, use the garbage cans. As you can see, the kitchen is quite large, and there are many different types of foods.
And a big mixer. This is the area where all of the dishes are washed. We have a no outside food or drink policy at WCS. So if you are here eating lunch, it needs to be brought from home. Also, we expect you to eat in this space. If you want to go home for lunch, you're more than welcome. If you're looking for some Eagles bling, this is your spot, as we have our very own store. This is a view of the entrance to the Commons. You can see the main office is on our right. Let's take a few minutes to go into the Cognate Center gym. You will likely be familiar with this space from coming over with your elementary school for productions. All of our drama productions are housed in this space, but it also is our main gym for our grade 7 to 9 phys ed classes. Once the bleachers are pushed in, we have double the space that you see currently. Before, you saw the gym from the stage as if you were playing in the band. This is what the audience would see. Grade 7 students share lockers inside of the change rooms for phys ed. As we head out the Cognate Center doors, you'll see Queen Elizabeth School across the street. This area is for staff parking, and parents often drop their kids off at the doors by going around the loop. If you are a QE kid or ride a rural bus, you will enter through these doors. You might also go through these doors if you're riding your bike or if you're walking. There are a number of bike racks that are near the Cognate Center entrance. Thanks for watching.